Welcome to Sagas, a channel where we science the shit out of your favorite anime, games, and all sorts of other stuff. I'm your host Iker, and today we're proud to be bringing you another Dragon Ball Legends video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing two of the new units in the game, Kamicolo and Android 16. Then we're going to be concluding our analysis with a recommendation of whether you should spend big, bargain hunt, or save. Kamicolo, what can I say? I loved you ever since you fought Android 17 and displayed the kind of badassery that only you could. Kamicolo waged a battle against a very powerful adversary, unleashing a barrage of ki blasts that is best known as the Hell Zone grenade. Not only is this what his art card is, and it's gorgeous by the way, but his blue card is absolutely a perfect 3D rendering of that moment and literally takes me on the train to Hypesville every time. And the way he looks wearing that weighted cloak, it's perfect. In my head, I keep imagining him taking it off and when it hits the ground, making that iconic impact with the ground, letting you know that this thing weighs a ton and he's been going toe to toe with you while wearing it. Because of all this, we give Kamicolo a 6 out of 7 fashion balls. As for his base stats, he has HP and defense stats that look like they belong in a defensive unit, with the second highest blast attack in the game to go with it. And if that wasn't enough, this man is sitting at an amazing 2.3 thousand ki restore speed. Sometimes all you can say is wow, and this is one of those moments. Wow. As for his main ability, he adds 50% more blast damage to the incredible base blast he already has and negates type disadvantage for 45 timer counts. I mean, seriously? Come on. Come at me now, Bardock. Next up, he adds 35% more blast against androids. That's an additional 85% damage that can eat through any and every color android out there. 16 is the new meta, you say? We'll meet the meta killer. He reminds me a lot of Perfect Cell. They both share the regeneration tag, which doesn't really have a place yet in the meta, and both try their best to kill a specific tag. Except now you're far more likely to run into an android team that 16 is in the game, a character who is, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But back on track, you're more likely to see androids now than you ever were before because the tag just got a powerful unit. As far as his anti-meta underpinnings, they don't end there. His Hell Zone grenade delivers a devastating blow to the oh so powerful and ever so common cover mechanic by increasing damage done to units who use it by 40%. And if this wasn't enough, he brings a unique ability that buffs not his, but his allies blast for 15 timer counts when he uses his green card. So where does Kamicolo find his home? Well, this is a tricky one. Z ability synergy has become low-hanging fruit in this game. The main tags are loaded with units that are good and synergize well, so it's hard to justify bringing in someone who doesn't fit in, but it's still done sometimes. Last meta that was done with Bardock on androids, this pairing was a statement that there are certain mechanics that are worth breaking synergy for. The question becomes, is this unit's toolkit worth breaking synergy over? Well, not in every case. We think his best fit is actually on the android team itself, with 16, 17, 18 as starters, and EX First Form Cell, as well as EX 19. Add Kamicolo on the bench, and I think now you're equipped for anything the mirror match throws your way. However, if you wanted to start him, you could try to cobble together a regeneration team where his Z ability would buff blast by 22% to Cell, but honestly, that's kind of meh right now. You could also look at a mono-colored team, but I don't think there's enough synergy there either. This is definitely Kamicolo's biggest weakness and probably what's going to keep him back on a lot of people's tier lists. So to conclude, Piccolo is a great unit, he just doesn't have a home yet. He has amazing overall stats, he's solidly anti-meta, and he's got an interesting toolkit, but without some serious help, the regeneration tag isn't viable, which makes him not a starter on most any team. He's best placed on a bench and swapped in versus certain teams, but can we really ask you to spend big on a unit that sits on the bench and breaks all good Z ability synergies in the game? No, we can't, but we actually love all of his other skill sets that we still think he's worth having, just at a discounted daily rate. So bargain hunt, or in this case, I'd recommend just buying him direct as he's a featured unit in the store right now. On to Android 16. He is what happens when a brick wall heads to a nightclub, has a few too many drinks, then thanks to some serious beer goggles, takes home the biggest, ugliest tank in the bar, which I think is the German-built mouse tank, but I'm not sure. Then 9 months later, Android 16 is born. I mean, this guy is tanky. And his iconic moment of trying to blow his load on Cell only to realize he doesn't have it in him, the bomb that is, plays a huge role in the look and feel of this character. In fact, his suicide attack is like one of those alternate history books, Like, what if the printing press had never been invented, or what if Goku died of a heart virus before the androids came? In this case though, his bomb does go off, and it looks just like it did in the show, where he slides up from behind you and wraps you up with his big burly arms. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Should we cut that out? No. Keep it in? Yeah, it's just raw. Oh god, stop with the... oh my god. Yeah, moving on. While his 3D model looks and handles great, we still think the coolest part of all of this is his blue card. That alone is worth 6 out of 7 fashion balls. Now, 16's base defensive stats as a whole are second to none. He's a tank in the truest sense of that word, and he can easily be compared to Android 17, who has slightly better strike and blast defenses, but has over 100k less HP. Offensively speaking, 17 rocks a top 15 blast attack, while 16 does the same, but for strike. So 16 just another 17 with slightly more ki and HP boost and a different focus on attack? Not quite, though you'd be forgiven to think that based on initial impressions. Let's see how the rest of his toolkits differentiate him. 16 also has a sustained damage cover ability, just like 17, though it is slightly stronger, but instead of buffing his strike like 17 does, he restores 50% of the damage taken during the cover change, which includes all comboed attacks after the cover occurs. This is huge and makes him near impossible to kill. And if that wasn't enough, he just isn't affected by things like paralyze, flash, bleed, etc. Let me try my Batman voice on this. Superman, do you even bleed, bruh? How was that? No good? Okay, sorry, I tried. But as for his main ability, he draws an Awakened Arts card called Final Strength. His main ability yields a powerful self-destruct that is not only buffed by his green card, but who has the highest base art value in the game, by a lot. What's that, you say? Wrong video to talk about game mechanics, but let's just say every art card has a value that affects damage output when using that particular card. Usually they're the same and only change with soul boosting. You know, that's what those nodes do in the soul boost trees. However, in this case, he is more than double the amount of any other suicide ability and way higher than any ultimate, period. Of course, he does die afterward, but he's sure to take most any enemy down with him first, and doesn't hurt that his severed head buffs Gohan's ki by 50% afterwards too. So while at first glance 16 is a mirror of 17, the truth is he's not. He does almost everything on the defensive side of things better than 17, but instead of being an impact damage dealer for the team as well, 16 chooses to end his time absorbing damage by taking out a character of your choosing before he goes. So what team should you play him on? Well, androids of course. We like 16, 17, 18 as starters, and for the bench we have First Form Cell, Kamicolo, EX19. He fits in nicely for his color and the fact that he brings heavy strike arts for 18 to use, but also because he has a nicely scaled Z ability starting at 20% that improves the team's survivability against the very popular strike attack. So the question is, should you spend big, bargain hunt, or save? And the answer is, whale 'em. Seriously. Pull out the credit card and swipe. All jokes aside, never spend money you don't have, but if you do spend money and like androids, then this guy is a must-have and will definitely see major use in this meta. Well, that's going to do it for us today, folks. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Buy, Bargain Hunt, or Save, where we showcase new units and tell you how deep you should go to add them to your collection. If you did enjoy this content and want more like it, make sure you give the video a colossal thumbs up and don't forget to Mississippi smash that subscribe button. Until next time.